used to. Gangstar foundation to treat. We brand store shine. I just wait.
Welcome, everyone. This is All-Star Action, folks. Kevin Harlan happy to be here with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And now it's time for the Foot Locker three-point contest. The long-range assassins of the NBA have come together to show off their skills from beyond the arc.
There's a lot of tremendous three-point talent in the NBA, and no better place to see that skill showcase than right here, right now.
Well, Clark, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but the three-point contest is something I look forward to all season long.
So it's Klay Thompson ready to start here. He'll have 60 seconds to try and make his way through 5 racks, each one containing 4 regular balls, and then the 2-point money ball.
The maximum score is 30 points, Kevin, but you've got to get into a really good rhythm right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's usually pretty easy to tell right away whether a player has it going or not.
One way to ensure success in this event, as we've learned, Steve, is by hitting those money balls. Those give you a nice jolt of momentum.
Yeah, that's really the key. I mean, if you can knock down all 5 money balls, you really don't even have to shoot a high percentage and you can still come out on top.
3 racks down, 2 to go. Misses for the 4th straight time. Up to 10 now. 1 rack left.
Nice finish, well done.
Good for 13. Now 14. He posts a score of 14. Well, a very respectable performance from him there, guys.
Kevin, I think he'd be real pleased with that score. I mean, it can always be a little bit higher, but that was plenty good.
Yeah, I agree, Clark. He's probably happy with it, not ecstatic, but, you know, he did his job and put up a pretty good number.
Here we go with James Harden.
When Harden came into the league, people were unsure if he'd be able to shoot with range in the NBA. He started out a little slow, but he's become quite the scorer and sharpshooter. And a lot of people thought that would be the case. It was just a matter of when.
And a decent start here, guys.
10 points on the board. 11 points. Can't get the money ball. No good with his 4th in a row. He's got 12. Drains the money ball.
And that pushes him all the way to the #1 spot.
He's got 16. 16 points is his score for the round. I'd say a solid showing from him.
I think things are so much easier when a shooter gets off to a good start, and he certainly did that.
Here we go with Damian Lillard.
You know, this is really a very unique experience for the participant. You're on your own out there. Nobody can help you, and every eye in the arena is focused on you.
You're right, Clark. It's totally different from a regular game. You're the only person out there. You're firing shots left and right. It's different, and you have to adapt to that different experience and make it your own if you're going to win.
Gets the money ball. Now 8 points. Two racks to go. Misses for the 4th straight time. 10 points on the board. 11 on the board. 1 rack left. That gives him 12. Matches 13. Make that 14. 14 points is his total as the round comes to a close. That was a nice piece of shooting we saw from him out there.
Yeah, even if he didn't set things completely on fire, it's still a fine score. I mean, what did you take away from it, Steve?
Well, you know, it wasn't his best, but he gutted out a pretty decent round when he didn't have his best stuff, and that's the sign of an excellent shooter there.
So it'll be Kevin Durant here.
Kevin Durant, KD as he's called, has been a part of a couple of three-point contests now, yet to win one, even though he comes in as a big favorite when he participates.
He's got to get at least 14. And he knows he can get this well within his abilities.
5 points more to stay in it.
Gets the money ball.
He needs 3 more points.
He could Should have taken more from that rack. Only got 2 points.
And that puts him in a second-place tie now.
And he's alone in second place with that one.
He tallies 18 points. Now that's how you do it. Outstanding focus throughout the round.
Well, we all know how important the money balls are in this event, and he hit 4 out of 5 of them. That's very good work.
And so we'll see Wesley Matthews.
You know, Wes Matthews, Kevin, out of Marquette, had a really solid career there, but was undrafted. A player who's really solidified himself as a quality NBA talent. I mean, a tough defender. He's a pretty good shooter. Can handle it. I mean, there's not anything he doesn't do reasonably well.
You remember his dad, Wes Matthews, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I remember, those Wisconsin teams cost me a Big Ten championship. Cost us a Big Ten title back in 1980, and Wes Matthews was the culprit. He was the catalyst for knocking us off twice in those games.
I am sorry I brought that
Yeah,
up.
you knew what you were doing.
I know I
You
did
knew what
not.
you were doing. You knew what you were doing.
Steve, help me out here.
And he needs at least 14 here to remain in contention.
Well, the number's right there for him. If he can just stay focused, not rush his shots, and find some rhythm.
4 more points to stay alive.
That gives him 12. He finishes with 14 points on the board. I'd say he handled that round pretty well, guys.
Kevin, I think he'd be real pleased with that score. I mean, it can always be a little bit higher, but that was plenty good.
Yeah, I agree, Clark. He's probably happy with it, not ecstatic, but, he did his job and put up a pretty good number.
And here we go with Freak. He knows exactly what score will get him into the next round.
And over his career, just a superb long-range marksman. Only 14 points, the necessary total to advance.
And he knows he can get this well within his abilities.
5 more points, and he's in.
Up to 10 now. 3 more, and he moves on. That's 13.
1 more to stay alive.
That shot ties him for third. Could only get 1 shot to fall off the rack.
That gets him into the 3rd hole and books him a place in the finals.
Fight for second. He finds himself at 16 points at the end of the round. That was a nice piece of shooting we saw from him out there.
He sure did. I mean, he really showed his potential shooting the ball when he dropped those 8 consecutive shots.
Durant's got the top score in the qualifying round.
You know, Steve, this isn't like some years where there's one guy you point to going into the finals as the obvious favorite.
No, it's not. I mean, and that's what's going to make it fun. I mean, you couldn't pick a more competitive group of guys to have in the finals.
And so we'll see James Harden. Well, if you watch James Harden in college, where, by the way, he was the Pac-10 Player of the Year as a sophomore at Arizona State, teams would have to mark him and watch way beyond the three-point line. Clark, he's always been a deep threat, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Steve, he's some kind of shooter now in the NBA.
He is, and then he uses that threat to also get to the rim because he draws the defense out and then puts the ball on the deck and gets all the way into the paint. So really a versatile, multi-dimensional player.
11 points. He's got 12. Not just 13. Money ball, no good.
Finishing strong.
Make that 14. He finds himself at 16 points at the end of the round. He turned in a pretty good round right there, don't you think?
I was impressed just with his poise, guys, because he stayed on a very even keel from one rack to the next.
And here we go with Freak.
Your memory has to be very short in this format, like less than a second. You have to put every miss right behind you. Forget about it.
Yeah, because one miss can easily turn into 2 and then 3. And then you start racing because you're worried about the clock, and before you know it, you're pretty much out of it.
5 points now. 6. 8 more points for him to tie it up.
Eight more points and he'll tie things up.
No good with his 4th in a row. And he's made all 3 money balls.
5 more points to tie it up.
He's got 12. Good rack right there. 4 points total.
1 more for the tie.
And now with 16. hits, and now he has the lead.
And still going.
Well, he's got the score to beat in this final round.
He tallies 18 points. Boy, he looked great out there, didn't he?
He lit it up big time. That was some silky smooth shooting all the way through.
Yeah, his stroke looked great. He went along at a perfect pace. He did pretty much everything right.
So it'll be Kevin Durant here. We've reached the climax. He's got one last shot to go home with the trophy.
He'll need 18 points to match, then tie, 19 to move ahead. KD stepping up and knocking them all down.
That's 7.
Pretty good start there for him.
8 points. Now 9 points. 8 more points for him to tie it up. Money ball, no good.
8 more points and he'll tie things up.
11 points. Well, I think, yeah, that's it. He's done.
Yep, he can't make it up in these last few shots, Kevin.
Well, thanks for coming. We'll see you next year.
He scores 13 points in the round. And that puts an end to the Foot Locker three-point contest. It couldn't have gone any better for this year's outstanding champion, Freak.
It was a great event. There's always so much excitement packed into the three-point contest.
Yeah, no question, Clark. Those were some real theatrics we saw out there today.
And from all of us here at 2K Sports, we're thrilled to have brought you this year's three-point contest. This is Kevin Harlan, along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, saying so long and thanks for watching.